And hello student, my name is Ashok Sijala. In this session we learn the array in C language. So here I first share my laptop screen and here fix the position so you can watch better way my video lecture. And here turbo C++, yes, I select and take some process. Now yes is open. Alter F file menu open and taking new file, and here it is our target. What is or we can say that what is a array. Okay, so array is a derived data type. First statement, array. So in our C language there are three main data type. First is a primary data type, then derived data type, then user defined data type. So array is a derived data type. In derived data type, you have to know very well array pointer and function, that is known as a derived data type. So array is a derived. And what is a array? Array is a fixed size sequential group of element of the same data type, which is the refer as a common name. So we can say that like in primary or like fundamental or derived data type, like we can take, I just give as a board work like integer. So we can we can take only one value, but how we can take multiple or group of same integer, five value I have to. So if I take the five value, so I take declare the five integer like x, y, or like p and q or r, whatever. So I take five integer variable, then our five variables scan and then print. So array is a group of collection similar data type and that name is same, but you can supply the different value. So I show you what is a array, how it's declared. So first here I write the syntax for you. So syntax is a data type. Yes, data type we have to give. Then our variable, we can say that variable name. Yes, and then subscript, that is a bracket. So and then in between size. So here, yes, yes, now is okay. So data type, then that's variable name. Yes, we can say that or data type is a like I just defined now example. So what is a example? So data type like integer, and that variable name means array name. That variable name here I write. So here that is a array name. That is array name. So here we can like x is our array name and size is a 5. So you can scan the 5 and that is a, here you can see that is a primary integer data type, but that is a derived from that derived data type. So here that is a name is a x. So x refer to 5 integer data type. So that is a derived. And array also known as a subscript variable. Subscribe, we can say that subscript. So that is a subscript. So that we can say that subscript variable or subscribe variable, that meaning is that. So array is a very we can say that derived data type, and there are three derived data type: array, pointer, and function. First we can see the array, and there are three type of array: one dimensional array, two dimensional array, and multi-dimensional. And also one fourth is a string type of array. So that is no new type, but that is a string array, we can say that. So we can start our simple first one dimensional array. So that is a, we can say that here I just write in comment line. So that is short, that say 1D and array, one dimensional array, that is a dimension. So why that's that used as a subscript. So that bracket use within that size we have to pass. So that is a subscript variable. Okay, and you have to observe here how I just now that we can that first index array start with index 0. So 0, 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So because that is 5 and here that value, like I give any value. So next line we can give that value like 11, but only 1. So I give any value. So that is a value. Okay. So any give value, there is no integer value. And so here in first line, we can say that that is a index, yes, and that is a value. Okay, so we can scan the 5 integer, and that is a start array index always 0. Okay, so that all I think in write in comment line, and we can see in this session one-dimensional array. So I give the multi-comment line. So I remove this blank, and here just for your reference, so we can start our one-dimensional array, how to scan and how to print. So stdio.h and then console, and also we can take the sum of that digit, or that is also known as element of array. Array is a group of similar same data type value, here like a 5 bunch of integer value. Okay, so array is a derived data type, and here we can first declare and then scan. So we can take the index wise. So I first declare a x, that is our same example, and that is a loop. We can take the for loop. Okay, so we can scan and print. First, how to scan? So that message we have to give in outside of for loop. Otherwise, that is all time printing. So here we can give suitable message. Enter 1D one-dimensional array elements. Okay, so and that is a provide like station, so in within a double quotes. Okay, so that message is you cannot take in for loop, otherwise that all time that, and array index start in like our triangle, pyramid, and pattern programming and series programming. We can start here I equal to 1, but here I equal to 0, because array index start is always here I example, that is 0 index, that is value, and in between last is a address. Every that memory address is there, but in that time I taking pointer time I discussion what is the address. So one value refer in the two way, that name and then address. So here that is x is a name, and that is a first address, that is a name in the array. So that is a some pointer concept, but here because array and pointer is a co-related concept. Array without pointer and pointer without array, we cannot perfect understanding. So in next pointer we have to discussion also how to pointer help using pointer to array. That is also concept. So here we can how to scan and print. First we have to take, and that is a one-dimensional array, 1D array. That is short is a 1D array and one-dimensional first type of array. So that is our for loop is start, and in between I give some guideline. So equal to is not I less than only 5 and I plus plus. Okay, and here my technique. Yes, I first not give some we can take like some student give the not give the message and all. If give that message, that is in for loop like here, and so every time that message is printed. So that is not perfect way. So how here our message is outside of for loop. So enter 1D array element. Okay, and then how to scan. So my technique is that we can also understand which index which value hold. So here I pass the x and bracket. Okay, and then here what to do, percentage d. Yes, so that is my technique. So how it's scanning in which index, that we can also see in our output. So here I give the scanf. That is a some student not understand why here is there. So now I can scan that, you can understand what is a that is. So you can, and here one blank page. So it's here after column. So now percentage d and same here that is comma ampersand x of I. That pronunciation is x of I, because that is a x and subscript, that is bracket, and then x of I. So we can first only scan and then print. So how it scan, we cannot print any element. First I save this file. So here we can take like give the name of first digit 1 we have to not give, that is a alpha digit. So 1 a first and 1D, that is name, and element only. So we can understand that is a one-dimensional array element. Okay. So that is my also technique. First digit is not come into the file. And here we can what to do. First I cannot scan. Yes. First I only print. Yes. So that is a also one technique. I just remove all this message and step by step I can understand. So enter, I remove this also word. Only one day array elements are. Yes. And here I give the static value. Yes. How to give the static value I cover also. So here I give any values like first I give the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That is a static initialization. In that brace that we can use the brace and give the 5 value because that is a 5 size of array, and directly we can print. Yes. So here how to print. So here we can print of our direct element, and here it is a we can percentage d. Yes. And then one blank and x of I. So that is printing. So first we can take direct print of static element. Yes, not scanning. So yes, I just run that printed. One day array element are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is very simple. So that is a static. We can say that that is a static array. Yes. So that also dynamic array, but dynamic array we can use the malloc and free function or malloc or calloc. There are two functions. A memory allocation function of that is a dynamic array. So here we can see scan that value. That is not dynamic, but dynamic is a block resolution in memory. So that is called dynamic. So we can discuss in the malloc and calloc or free function. Realloc is also, there are 4 memory allocation function. So I think you can understand what is a one-dimensional array. And here I just cover the static array. Yes, only static array. Okay. And now I can sum of it. So here I can take one integer value, and here I take the print, and that take the sum. So sum equal to sum plus x of I. Yes, so that is a printing, and after for loop we can print our sum, the summation is, and percentage d, and print over sum variable. Yes, I think you have to know very well. That is simple. So I cannot. Yes, that is a 15, 1 to 5. So that sum is 15, and also provide here slash n. So that is a distinct. So we can element sum step by step. So how that is a, yes, we can understand with help of uh, uh, watch window. So that is also help for you. So Alt W, and here I take the watch window, and here there is no require up here. Yes. And we can also take the output window. That is no problem. So here our output window is there. So how step by step that execute. So here our I variable is there. Yes. And next x of I, that is known as x of I, that pronunciation. And I press F7. You have to know very well. Alt R, and here trace into F7 function. I just compile line by line execution. So that is a initialization static 1 to 5, and our variable that is a syntax subscript and the group of integer, because that is a integer array, because that derived data type. So that is a fundamental, and then subscript of array. So that syntax is a data type, array name, and size of array. So here fixed size of 5 elements. So we can compare our syntax. So I press here some, yes, x of I is a now first is 0, and then clear the screen. Yes, here is clear, and now that our message 1D array element are, and I scan, that is print directly take one value because I is 0 and x of I that 1. So that print 1, and then sum. Yes, sum is remaining. So we can also take the sum. So sum initialize 0, and now 1 is sum equal to sum plus x of I. So yes, that sum is 1, and now I plus plus. So you have to know very well I plus plus, that the condition is checked, that initialize only one time. Now I plus plus and condition check, that is multiple, that for loop is repetition. So here our x of I is now taking that second element of our array, one dimensional array, static, and then print, yes, that our element is print, and sum is 1, and now two element, that 3, now sum, yes, I plus plus. So that is a change over 3, yes, I is 2 because start with 0. So here element is 3 because third element. So yes, 3 is print and 3, and our sum is 3, so 6 is there. And now I plus plus, so I is a now 3, so that is our fourth element because index start with 0. So sometimes we can confuse how it is taking directly fourth element because that is a start with 0 index. Okay, so 6 plus 4, 4, so 10 is sum, yes, that 10 I plus plus, that is last element. 4 index is 4, but element is a fifth position or 5. We can give the sequence 1 to 5, you can give any element. So now 10 plus 5, so 15, and loop is false because I is 5, but not equal sign is there. So that sum and print, yes. So that is a very simple I elaborate, and we can also trace, so line by line execution. Okay, so I full screen, and now I give any value here, that is no any fix, you can go give the 1 to here. I give any value, so 11, like 12, 13, 14, and 15, that is also possible, not only single digit. So that is also sum, and that 65 answer is there. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I also give in the sequence, but also you can take like randomly value. That is also possible. I here give directly 9, next 12, and here I give 5, and here 14, and here like only 5. No, 5 is 2 times. So here I give like 6. There is no problem. Take any value. That is, I can show you. So that sum is that only. Okay. So I think you can understand what is a static, that is static value. Now we can scan the user side, what we can do. So I just, I think you can understand. So I remove this all element and that our previous, and I just copy this part and paste. So here sum is now in the our first for loop. So I remove this, all brass is not required, and I scan and print both time I use the subscript. So here I provide that type, you can understand, and here I provide the station, that is a printing part. So here 2 time percentage d. Why? Because the first is a I, that is a I is printing this bracket. Yes, percentage d. Whenever percentage d is there, that I is print. So x of 0, that type I is 0, then plus plus. So that we can show you which index that element is stored. We can also in output. So one day array element are. So here only one statement. So I also remove the brace. Okay. So for loop not require brace. And now here what to do? Here we can first scan. So scanning time I also give the subscript, that array index, so we can easily understand. And here I just take the I, because that is our, and now here our scanf function is there. So here I percentage d, yes, and x of I, and ampersand is there, ampersand, yes. So that is a two statement. So sometimes that student, I can previously say that is not understanding what is this, but now I scan and then print, so you can understand. And also we can take, I first remove this sum. After that we can take first how to scan user side value and how to print, we can understand, and then I can take the sum. So here only two statement. What is a, you can sum, here give only one statement, only scanf, and give the every time that message. But I take the message outside for loop, enter 1D. Yes, here now is word is a coming to not enter one dimensional array element. Yes, that is meaning. And now let us how it's work. And that sum is never used because that warning, because we have to not use. Yes, that's correct. So we can, yes, so you can look our x of I, that is my printing. So you can understand that value store in x of index of 0. So x of I 0, we can give like any element. So I give randomly. Yes, so that is print same index wise. So that is very useful for you. Scanning with index and printing with also index. So that is a one dimension. First message enter one dimensional array element R, and then array element R. Enter word I just remove. So one day array element R. Yes, that type of you have to enter or scan. So that is a scanning and printing with index. Yes, that is a perfect. You can understand. So here, what is a change here? Two time is a slash n. Yes, here is there and here is there. So I just remove one. Yes, so that is two time. Now again run. So I give sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, so that is print directly. Okay. So before and after, in between, I give one blank, and here I slash n, so one gap, and now I can do the sum. So where sum? Here you can also provide, and here also provide. So there are two chances here. After scanning, you can take the sum here, printing time, or directly here is also printing. So now I use the short technique, plus equal to. That is a, you have to know, that is a compound assignment, and that is a same full form, sum equal to sum plus x of I, that is full form of full statement. And then I open our comment line of printing the sum of our variable. So that is a sum of print, that array element. So that is a array element. That word is a element. Okay. In structure, that is a member, and array is a element. So now next come to picture is a UDF, and then structure is there. So that is structure, user defined data type, and that array is a derived data type. So now I can any value randomly. Yes. So give any value, there is no issue. So only one digit you can also take. So yes, 23. So yes, first 7, and that 9 plus 1 10, and 7 plus 3 20, and 3 23. Yes, that is correct. There is no problem. That is very simple. So I think you can understand. So yes, that session we can cover how to, what is a array. Array is a group of similar data type element that is known as array. Array is a derived data type, and that is a syntax of declaration. Data type, array variable name, and bracket, that known as a, in our programming you have to observe in C language there are three that use, like that opening closing brace, that more use in our programming, because main we have to always that parenthesis, that known as parenthesis, and that is a bracket. So that is a use in array variable. Uh, subscribe, yes, and that is a, we can say that array is a other name, that name is a subscribe variable, like our simple integer variable, string variable. Okay, pointer is one variable, static, and now also one storage class, local and global, static, automatic variable, a static variable, register variable. Okay, and then global and local, that internal external, that known as internal variable and external variable. So that is known as a storage classes in C language, but I cover not this session. But here how to scanning and how to printing, that is my goal. And also we can take the sum of array element. So I think you can understand. I just run now. So you can look why my technique. I just show you is, that is also you can understand what is a x of I, that is a subscript, and x of element, that is a take the value. So you can give the any value. So that is a 0 index, that store 5, then 1 index, that is 8, 3 index start with 0. So 0 is 5, 1 is 8, 2 is 9. Yes, and that position is a third. 9 position index is 2, but that position of element is a 3. So position index plus 1, that is my saying the meaning. Okay. So here give any value. So that is sum, and that print the array element. So there are, I just revised. So array is a derived data type. Array is a group of finite set of group of similar data type. Finite means not infinite. Finite means some step that process, like in flowchart. Some step is, and that process is complete. So finite or order set, some technical word also using that, some author that definition also cover. So array is a group of similar data type element that is known as array. Array is a derived data type, and that we can type of array, one dimensional array, two dimensional, and two after we can say that multi-dimensional array, and also we can say that string array, that also possible string array. Okay. So I hope you can understand. So how to scanning, printing, and element sum of one dimensional array element. And now upcoming my video lecture, I cover the ascending order and descending order, how to print our array element. So I close this session because and write this program to your note. Very simple. Yes. So here our include file and main. Yes. Any question or any doubt of this definition, you can write in comment section. So how to scan with index and how to print with index. Yes. So see our output. So that is a scanning with index and scanning with printing index. Index is our main in array. Array is a always start index with 0. So there are three parts in array. Just first index, value, and address. Address is remaining. We can take in the pointer concept. That time we can take also here in all elements, that is address, because that is a 2-byte allocator. And here we can define the 5 elements. So there are 10 bytes. One element in integer data type, 2 bytes required. So 5 element we have to declare. Here you can declare like 50. So that is a 100 bytes allocate the compiler. So here that we cannot go. So what is a benefit I declare here? I just revise one point. So that is also not some student taking, that is a dynamic array. I here give one n variable. So and that scan, yes, here what to do? Here some student like that type of message and enter like enter 1D array size. Okay, enter 1D array array size, yes, and scan. What scan? N variable. Yes, I just show you. And then here that give like n, yes, and here that static that phi is removed. So here also phi is removed. So that is a understanding, that is dynamic array, that is not dynamic. Whenever you can use malloc, calloc, or means malloc or calloc function, or realloc is also, that is dynamically memory allocation. That is only static array. What is in this session? So I scan and run. So here just what okay, scan of spelling, so disturb, so scan f, yes, so that is giving error. Yes, now is okay. So here we can take like 15 up to give that is not dynamic array, that is static array. Always at malloc function or calloc or realloc, that you can use then, and then that is a dynamic, that is a static array. So I show you here we can scan any, like I give the 10 size. So that is scan definitely 10 size element. I give any element. So that is up to 10. That is a scanning over element. So that is a index start with 0. So that is a 0 to 9. So we can enter array size is 10 because our for loop we can provide one control variable, and that is a n. Yes. So here some student taking that big that size declaration time, and here after that take the n variable and I less than n, and here also in printing time I less than n. Okay, not equal because index start with 0. So that is a not dynamic array. That is possibility, but that is a one choice. You can enter up to 15 size to array. That is a meaning. So that is also static array. Okay. So I show you that is also useful for you. So you can also scan that is, but that is a not a that is static array. You can say that static array, but we can scan value user side, but that memory location is a static. That is meaning memory location dynamic means that block compiler is reservation, and you can compulsory use the free function then, and then memory is releasing. Like we can traveling and first we can ticket booking. So that's it, not any passenger hold or that sitting there your reservation. So that is a dynamic array. But here what to do? Only we can take initially big size of array and then scan one variable n. So that number of times that loop is repeat. So that some students say that is a dynamic array, but I can give that is not dynamic array. I give the idea how to take the dynamic value of array, and we can use the malloc and calloc two choice and free function. We can release the memory. So memory allocation function for dynamic array required. Okay. So now I close. This is we can possibility that we can near to the dynamic array, but not that dynamic array. So initially we give the more size to declaration, and then we can take the enter array size and scan our n variable and provide the for loop. So that is some advantages, but that not dynamic array. Okay. So yes, I complete this session, close this file, write this program to your notebook and close. Yes. So all out and quit. So subscribe my channel Ashok Sijal Academy, press the bell icon to never miss any update. Thanks for your watching, supporting and sharing my video lecture. And any doubt for any this session, you can write in comment section. So thanks again and Hare Krishna.